Good noon, dear students. You are most welcome in your favorite YouTube channel, Learning with Rajesh. On this channel, we have started lesson number 3 of Geography of class 9th. The name of the lesson is Drainage. Today, we will complete this lesson. You know that in drainage lesson, we learnt about the meaning of drainage, and after that, we learned about the meaning of drainage basin. You know that drainage basin is the meaning of, it means the rivers and its tributaries. And after that we learned about the different rivers of India. So Indian rivers can be divided into two parts, the Himalayan rivers and the Peninsula River. In Himalayan rivers we learned about the Ganga system and the Brahmaputra river system and the Indus river system. On the other hand, we learnt about the Peninsula River, and the Peninsula Rivers can be divided into two parts, the western flowing rivers and the eastern flowing rivers. We learnt that there are two major western flowing rivers in the peninsula, Narmada and Tapi. We learnt about the Narmada river basin and Tapi river basin. Today, we shall learn about the Peninsula Rivers and the eastern flowing rivers. There are four major eastern flowing rivers in the peninsula. The first is the Godavari Basin. The Godavari Basin, the major points are the largest peninsular river. Godavari is the largest peninsular river. So that's why it's known as Dakshin Ganga. And next is emerges from Western Ghats in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. It emerges from Western Ghats and from Nasik district of Maharashtra. And the second major point is 50% basin lies in Maharashtra. You know that basin means the main river and its tributaries, and is the main basin lies in Maharashtra. And the next, its tributaries are Purna, Vardha, and Venganga, Penganga. You know that it's a little bit confusing point for you. So that's the name of tributaries lasting with Ganga as Venganga, Penganga. Don't confuse, please, because this is the tributary of Godavari River. So don't confuse in the exam that which of the following main river, these the tributaries of Venganga and Penganga. So you will answer that Godavari's tributaries are these. And the next is, it's called Dakshin Ganga. And why called? We learned in the first point. I think you got all the points related to the Narmada Basin. And the next is the Godavari Basin, I'm sorry here. And the next is the Mahanadi Basin. The Mahanadi Basin arises in the highlands of Chhattisgarh. Highlands of Chhattisgarh. It merges in the Bay of Bengal and makes delta. You know that meaning of delta in the beginning you learned. And there is Hirakund Dam built on this river, Mahanadi. And spread in Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. There will be another MCQ type question for you. So which of the following state not drained by Mahanadi River? And you can answer that these states are drained by Mahanadi, named as Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. And tributaries of Mahanadis are Brahmani, Vaitarni. Brahmani and Vaitarni are some tributaries of Mahanadi. And the next major point, the Krishna Basin. The Krishna Basin, Krishna emerges from Mahabaleshwar Hills. Mahabaleshwar Hills. So there will be another objective type or MCQ type question. Which of the following river emerges from Mahabaleshwar Hill? And you will answer that the Krishna River. And it merges in the Bay of Bengal. And Nagarjuna Dam or Nagarjuna Sagar Dam is built on this river. there will be another important question for you. Which dam is built on Krishna River? And you will answer that Nagarjuna Sagar Dam. And to learn that, you know that Sri Krishna played with the Nagas, or means the snakes. You learned that. So you can learn with connecting the points with Krishna and Nagarjuna, Naga. And next is tributaries. Ghat Prabha, Musi and Bhima are some tributaries of Krishna River. And the next major basin of the peninsula is the Kaveri Basin. The Kaveri River emerges from the Brahmagiri Hills, and its tributaries are Bhavani, Hemavati, Kabini and Amravati. These are the main tributaries of Kaveri River. And the next is it's spread in Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So I think you got the points related to Kaveri Basin. And the next major point of the today's topic is different lakes. You know that lakes are also the part of drainage. There are different types of lakes, natural lake and man-made lakes. So some major facts about the lakes are, some lakes are permanent and some are seasonal. You know that permanent lakes have plenty of water, like the Himalayan rivers, they are perennial. And seasonal lakes have water in the rainy season only, and they can be dried. And the next is lakes are formed due to the action of glaciers and ice sheets. So some lakes are formed with the action of glaciers and ice sheets. You know that ice sheets are flowed and then there is a hole, or means the pond like system, that's known as lake. And the next, other lakes can be formed by wind and river action. And by the river action, you learned in the 7th class geography that oxbow lakes and lagoons are some lakes. Oxbow lakes can be formed with the help of, or with the action of river. You know that when the river flows like a snake and its meanders cut from the main river, and these meanders are shaped like a oxbow, and this lake is known as Oxbow Lake. And next, lagoons. Lagoons are the lakes found with the activity of sea water. You know that there is a silt between, or there is a sand and silt between the sea water and the bank, and beside this silt and sand there is a water collection, and there is a collection of water, and this collection of water is known as lagoon lake. And there are some example of lagoon lake: Chilka, Koleru and the Pulicat. And there will be another MCQ type question in the exam: which of the following is not example of lagoon, or the example of? You can learn that Chilka, Koleru and the Pulicat are some examples of lagoon lake. And the next is benefits of lake. There will be 5 marks question in the exam. To produce silt, some lakes are freshwater lake and some lakes are salty water lake. And the salty water lakes are used for producing salt. And you know that Sambhar lake in Rajasthan is very valuable one for producing salt. And the next is lakes support tourism. You know that some people in the summer vacation, or when they go on tour, they go on lakes. So that's why it support tourism. And the next is control floods. When there is plenty of water nearby area, it can be stored in lakes. So that's why it stops or controls floods. And the next, supply water. Some lakes can be used for supplying water for daily use. And the next is hydel power. Hydel power is the major activity on the lakes. You can imagine or you can learn that there will be electricity producing with the water of lake. It's known as tidal power. And the next is freshwater lakes. There are some examples of freshwater lakes in India. Wular is the largest freshwater lake in India. And the next is the Dal, the Bhimtal, Nainital, Bada Pani and Loktak. These are examples of some freshwater lakes. And the next is man-made lake. Some lakes are made by man. These are Gobind Sagar, Rana Pratap Sagar, Hirakund and Nagarjuna Sagar, etc. You know that Nagarjuna Sagar dam is also there. So on which river? And I think you know the answer, that on Krishna River Nagarjuna Sagar dam is built. And Hirakund dam is built on, I think you know the answer, on Mahanadi. And the next and the major point of the lesson is role of rivers in the economy. So what is the importance? There are some importance of rivers given below. First is settlement of human being from ancient time. You learned about the Harappan civilization in 6th class history, that first civilization started on the bank of rivers. That's why rivers are very valuable for settlement of human being from ancient time and in the modern world also. And the next is irrigation. Rivers are beneficial for irrigation point of view. You learn that in agriculture in India, agriculture is the major basic occupation of the country's people, and you know that irrigation is needed for it, and with the help of river we can irrigate the field. And the navigation, you know that navigation is also the entertainment program on in the rivers. And the next is tidal power, you know that hydropower. So dams are built on the river, you know that about the Hirakund Dam and Nagarjuna Sagar Dam and Tihri Dam. You know that different dams are built on the river for tidal power, for producing hydropower. And transportation of alluvial soil, you know that northern plain is full of alluvial soil because this soil is eroded by the rivers. So rivers are the main producing of alluvial soil. And the next is national river pollution control. So we should control the pollution in the rivers because increasing population is polluting the river in India. So that's why Indian government started Ganga Action Plan, GAP, started in 1985, phase 1. And in the phase 1, why the Ganga Action Plan started? You know that to control the pollution of water in the Ganga. So that's why Indian government started Ganga Action Plan. And it was closed in 2000. I think you got all the points related to today's lecture, and I'm going to revise it again. We learned about the eastern flowing or western flowing rivers. I think you know the answer. We learned about the eastern flowing rivers of the peninsula. So first one we learned about the Narmada. Which of the following river is known as Dakshin Ganga? And your answer will be Narmada is known as, oh my god, Godavari. Godavari is known as the Dakshin Ganga. And after the Godavari river, we learnt about the Mahanadi. And after Krishna and then Kaveri. I think you got all the points related to today's lecture. If you are new on my YouTube channel, please subscribe the channel, like and share also, and press the bell icon for latest information. Thank you and have a nice day.